Back here live at the Hive. We've used this room so much in the meditation room that it probably actually needs to be vacuumed now, if you can believe that. So, I lost count of days, but it's got to be like day 61 or 2 by now, right? March 16th, 15 days, 45 days to the end of April, and what's today? Is today the 14th or the 15th? So it's right around day 60. And unbelievable. And in some ways, I really want to hope we're able to reopen the studio soon, but we're awaiting clarity from the state and as to what that might look like and when and what would be required. And also, I guess we need to poll everybody and find out how comfortable people would be when things open up to be ready to come back to the studio, and what capacity or fashion or form. I think some of the initial thinking that Beth and I have been discussing is when we're able to at least gather in crowds of whatever it is, 10, 15, or 25, that we might start with some form of outdoor yoga in the parking lot at Roots to Wings, and then see how that goes. And as everything moves to the next phase, then maybe we move inside, and I'm not quite sure yet, but it's one of the things that we're thinking about. So I hope you're holding up well and managing this time well and using the time well to get some things done. But I am feeling like it's in a funny way, I'm not quite sure that I'm ready for the good part of what's happening right now to end in a way, because some things where I feel like my life is settling in some ways, and I like those aspects of it. There's other parts that I'd be happy not to deal with anymore. But in some of the ways of simplifying, settling down, and getting to do some tinkering and touch up some needed things, I feel like it would be nice to have a little bit more time to do that. So hopefully, as we move back to normalcy, that tinkering time will become a regular thing, like a yoga practice, and I won't go back to my regularly scheduled craziness, but we'll see. So today's class is going to be about lungs, and we're going to do a bunch of different exercises to open our lungs. I think we would all agree that being able to breathe is a useful and necessary thing. I think you can survive 21 days without food, 7 days without water, and maybe about 5 minutes without breathing. So breathing is vitally important, and one of the ways that we can encourage the body to breathe to its fullest capacity is to practice breathing, practice different breathing techniques, and also stimulate the flow of life energy in our lung meridian, our primary lung meridian, actually. And many of you, if you've ever done any of the healing yoga stuff with me, you would probably remember that the lung meridian sort of starts here inside your shoulder. You could actually even just take your thumb right at the top of the crease in your armpit, and if you push in that area, you will feel a spot there that might not feel that comfortable. So if you push right in there, and that is, so the meridians, or energy pathways in the body, are like where water is closest to the surface of the earth, and a dowser can, with their dowsing instruments, can feel the water in spots that are close to the earth. Some of you may have heard this idea. In England, they have these things called ley lines, where places where the Earth's magnetic energy field is more accessible, usually highly correlated with water lines. But this is the beginning of the lung meridian, and it travels all the way down the inside of your arm and kind of comes to the tip of your thumb. So you could actually press on the tip of your thumb with your fingers. You could feel the lung meridian there. We'll go back into this in a little bit, but you could press on that. So it's on the lung point is actually on the outside of your thumb, And then if you come down, I would say one knuckle up, should have stayed where it was, right here, and you push in there with your thumb. That's also a major lung point. So so when you work in this way, when we work with these kind of energy points, this is yoga too. This is just as much yoga as doing downward dog or anything else. And sometimes it's more direct to work with our body in this way. But there's kind of two ways to use these points for self-healing. One is for your own purpose. So if you're feeling a little restricted and constricted in your own lungs, so you can do this for yourself. And the other way is if there's somebody else that you're helping with lungs, and you can do these exercises on yourself and feel your own lung energy, and just with them in mind. Not like I'm trying to send or transmit energy to any other person. It's not the way it works, but by feeling my own lung blockage and my own connection in my own body, that helps to release that in the collective. So you can press on that spot. You can do it on both hands. It's bilateral and symmetric. I think I got those words right. So you may notice the blockage more on one side or the other. There was something else I wanted to say about that, but it will come back. So anywhere along this line you could press, but this is the most accessible spot. That's probably the next most accessible spot. And then the spot right in front of your shoulders here. So, oh yes, I remembered what I want to say. Lungs hold sadness in Chinese medicine. That's the emotion that's associated with lungs. Lung and liver function go together. Good. All right. So find a comfortable seat. And close your eyes. Spine straight. Begin to enjoy your belly breath, which will transition pretty quickly into an ocean-sounding breath. It's called Dirga Ujjayi. That's the Sanskrit name of the breath. Dirga means slow. You can still continue to massage your lung meridian in the base of your thumb as you breathe this way, if you wish. Just check in to see when you press into your lung meridian on your thumb. Depending on what you feel, your body may tense up. So you may feel tension in the shoulders, or you may start to clench your jaw. So if you notice that, just check that and relax. And then if you were massaging your thumb, you can just let your hands relax in your lap. Keep your eyes gently closed. As you breathe in, the belly rises, the middle of your ribs fill, and then your upper ribs fill up. As you breathe out, push your belly and all your internal organs down, collapse your chest, collapse the middle of your ribs, and then the belly draws in and up to complete the cycle of the breath. So I've learned through lots of experimentation with the breath. My tendency would be used to try to get as much air as I possibly could in my body to the point where I was like holding in a bong hit, so to speak, and and then exhale it all out. I never did a bong hit. Just kidding. Now I've said that on camera, and I'm probably going to get arrested. Although I think it's legal now. I don't know. But anyway. But keep the breath relaxed. You don't have to inhale all the way where it causes tension, or exhale so fully that it causes tension and you're gasping for your next breath in. One of the ideas in pranayama and yogic breathing is that we're allotted a set number of breaths for our lifespan. And if we can lengthen the breath phase, then we can use those breaths more efficiently. So learning how to increase the capacity of our lungs and the ability to distribute and use oxygen can increase our lifespan. So I took that to the extreme and was holding my breath too long and holding my breath out too long. So you can do your own experiment, but I would advise you to keep catching yourself if you're doing that. It creates problems. Use the internal sound and the vibration of your ocean-sounding breath to draw you deeper and deeper into your own stillness, deeper and deeper into your own self and your connection inside. The peace we all seek is already inside ourselves, and the seed of that can be nurtured by the breath. There's nothing outside of me that's going to make me peaceful. I have to make the connection to that peace that's already there, wherever it is, both in and without, outside of me. So transition your ocean-sounding belly breath into alternate nostril breathing. Use the right hand to draw your index finger and middle finger into the palm of your right hand. Seal off your right nostril, breathe in through your left. And get any stuff out of the way that you need to. At the top of your breath, exhale out through your right nostril. Back in again through your right nostril. And continuously exhale out through your left nostril. Don't pause at the bottom of your breath, start right back up, left side. No pause at the top of your breath, exhale out through the right nostril. And continue to at your own pace. If the breath is soft, the body will soften. When we do breathing like this, we don't often think of smelling, but as you breathe in, think of it as slowly smelling. Like you're savoring the smell and letting it permeate your sinus passages and your body. Breathe in a delicate way. So if there was talcum powder or a feather underneath your nostrils, they wouldn't move as you breathe in and out. But if breathing that gently creates tension and stress and you feel your body tighten up, breathe however you need to. Breathe the breath that you have right now. Don't try to make it something it's not. One more round through, and we'll finish with an exhale off the left nostril. Let your hands drop down to your lap and return to your normal breath. Breathing in, I'm grateful for the prana and life force that comes in with my breath. And breathing out, I'm grateful for the opportunity to recycle part of my breath that the body wishes to exchange with the world around me. Breathing in, my breath is soft and sweet. Breathing out, my breath is gentle and relaxed. I'm aware that I'm breathing in and I feel the movement in my body. I'm aware that I'm breathing out and I feel the movement in my body. Breathing in, I'm aware of all of us breathing together. Breathing out, I'm aware of all of us breathing together. This collective intention honoring the breath. And breathing in, breathing out. Next time you breathe in, inhale your arms up overhead. Hook your thumb and your index finger together, drop your elbows down, turn your index finger and thumb out and bend your wrists, drop your wrists down. Close your eyes and go back to Dirga Ujjayi, your ocean sounding belly breath. Light and soft. From the place where we're seated in our breath, as we are now, observation becomes clear. We can watch sensation arise in the body, we can watch thought arise in the body, and see it as an object of our awareness. If you need to adjust your legs to be more comfortable in the seated position, please do so. You can straighten your legs out in front of you, however you need to maintain your focus on your breath and your observation of your thought and feeling in your body. As you start to feel the wave of the breath, you can even tune into the breath of everybody on the earth breathing at the same time. And the gentle rising and falling of the earth's breath. The stillness of the breath. The presence of the breath. And the energy it brings. Nine more relaxed, even and full breaths. Watch the sensation, any tension that you may have in the neck and shoulders. We all have it, we all feel it's just energy that's stuck and blocked and needs to move. We don't have to go to the doctor to get new shoulders or anything like that. It's perfectly fine. Just a little resistance, a little physical sensation to allow you to know that we're still here. That there's energy in the body that can move. You can strengthen the ocean sounding breath, make it a little louder to match the sensation you feel in your body. Can you find a way to smile in the knowingness of your breath and the relaxation that it's bringing your body, even amidst strong sensation in the neck and shoulders? You find the smile that's in the breath. Let your hands float down to your knees very slowly on your next exhale. And let everything run off the sides of your neck Down your shoulders and arms. Relax and breathe normally. One more full breath in. And lean forward as you breathe out. Walk your hands out in front of you. Press yourself back up. Walk your knees up off the floor. Hug your knees into your chest and make your way down onto the floor and begin to roll from side to side. So once we have the breath motor up and running, the movement becomes secondary. We're moving, but the breath is more interesting. And we're innately drawn to want to stay connected to it. Come back to the center, drop your feet to the floor, hands to the floor, fingertips towards your heels, and begin to arch and lower your back, pelvic rock with your breath. Inhale to arch, exhale to release. Ocean sounding, inhale and exhale. Ram Dass has this great saying. If you haven't seen the movie yet, Becoming Nobody, spend the money to watch it. But towards the end of his life, he would always repeat over and over, I am loving awareness. So beautiful. So as you breathe and move with your spine, you can repeat that mantra, I am loving awareness. And allow the pelvic rocking to expand up into bridge pose, a moving bridge pose, moving, breathing bridge pose. Pick one that's right for you to hold up and stay up and walk the shoulders underneath your body. Press in to the soles of your feet. Find your full expression for this morning of your bridge pose. Open your chest with your breath. Exhale strongly out through your mouth, fully in through the nose, and sound it out. Couple more. Last one. Exhale, release down. Hug your knees into your chest again and from side to side. Come into happy baby. Feel the breath originate in your pelvis. Feel the breath all the way down to the tip of your tailbone. These last few breaths, open the knees and ankles out a little wider. And roll your left knee down towards the floor. Straighten your right leg. A rockin' baby. Good, bend your right knee, come back. Back to happy baby, roll to the right. And straighten your left leg. If you flop over, it's completely fine, don't worry. Good, return the feet to the floor. Lift your hips up so you can slide your hands underneath your top of your glutes and straighten your legs out onto the floor. Walk your elbows in so you're sitting on the inside edge of your elbows and bring your legs together like one. Lift the legs up straight overhead. Squeeze the tops of your feet back towards the floor, the toes back towards the floor. Lift your head up. Keep your heels together, balls of your feet together, and slowly lower your legs towards the floor. But don't touch the heels, let them hover, and then begin the journey back up overhead. The knees can bend here if they need to. And you know they'll need to if you feel sharpness in your lower back, lower lumbar spine. The next time your heels hover above the floor, press into your elbows and forearms and look up and down at your toes. Squeeze space between your toes. In the old days of rooster wings, in the Byfield days, we would call this dragon. So press up, look up, and we would hold this forever. Squeeze the space in between your toes. Flex your quads. And release everything down to the floor. Keep your hands where they are. My thumbs are almost touching my tailbone. My palms are completely flat and being squished by my glutes. The inside inside of my forearms, elbows are hugged under the hugged under the edges of the outside edges of my ribs and body. Preparing for fish pose. Squeeze your legs together and press your chest away from the floor. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and look up. The head can come up initially and it can stay. If you're comfortable, you can release the top of your head towards the floor. Keep the legs together like one. If you have to come out, move slowly. Open the chest. Nostrils in the center of your chest. 3 more full breaths in and out. It's also an option to lift your legs up at a 35 or 40 degree angle. And slowly release one vertebrae at a time. Hands come out, arms come off underneath your body, and gently turn your head to the left and to the right to release any tension that may have built up. Take your right hand and tap right in the center of your chest where your heart chakra is. Tap gently but firmly. Resume the ocean sounding breathing. Eyes closed. Body is completely relaxed. Center of your chest. Good, and release. Spend a brief moment in Shavasana, corpse pose. Relax your forehead, your brow, your eyes, your jaw, tongue. Relax your gums. Let your chin drop. Relax your throat. Front of your neck, sides of your neck. Relax the top of your shoulders, your chest. Travel the lung meridian from the inside of your shoulder all the way down the inside of your arm to the tip of your thumb. Feel your spine, your hips, feel the energy in the front of your hips, traveling down your legs, into your heels, and out through the balls of your feet. Feel the stillness. And even in the stillness, there's movement. There's sound. There's vibration. It's great unmoved moving that has no beginning. No end. The unmoved is the source of all movement. I wonder sometimes if we don't have a physical body so that we can feel this unmoved movement. The orgasm of physical form, I guess you could call it. If you have no urge to move right now, don't. You've made the connection. If you still have the urge to move and the thought patterns that you have to do something else to feel more fully this morning, you can come into Sleeping Tiger. If you're completely relaxed and feeling the inner harmony and vibration in your body, stay here and rest in it. There's no need to do anything else. Yoga means union. So this is one of the tastes of the unitive experience of yoga. Be in it. Feel it. The more we think about what we're feeling right now, the quicker it leaves. It's the great paradox. As to how we can stay in this feeling and have the feeling be an object in our field of awareness at the same time. Very difficult. Feel the field of energy and consciousness that you're in and all around you. And begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, or stay longer if you wish. You can hug your knees into your chest. And rock a little bit from side to side. Eventually roll to your right side and sit up. Staff pose. Inhale the arms up overhead, and if you feel like a seated forward bend would be appropriate for you in this moment, it can be very gentle. You can bend forward and hinge into that. Come back and find a seated position. Bring your palms together to the center of your chest. Sit up straight. After our next breath in, we'll all join together in the sound of Om. I can't hear you, but I can feel you, or imagine that I can. Om. So grateful to be able to honor and celebrate the breath, the simplicity of the breath, the amazing abundance of the breath with you this morning. I look forward to breathing with you again very soon. Namaste. All right. We're going to end a little bit early. I'm going to pop off here so we can talk.